Thank you for choosing to watch my video on advanced chattering. My name is Bill Wright, and we're located at Birtle, Manitoba, Canada, in the Birtle Center for the Arts. And today I'd like to show you some tools that I've designed that I'm producing for others so that they can improve the quality of their pottery as greatly as it has impacted mine. So the first tool I have is a trimming tool. It's got a single bevel, so you can use it in either scraping or shear cutting. And it has a smooth back so that you can use it for burnishing. Now I scrape off the clay so it's ready to go. So to start with, I got this centered, and while this is now turning, I will trim with the new trimming tool. Now when you're trimming a pot, if you draw a line through the center of rotation, there's a point on the surface where the clay is going away from the cutter at that line. Now on that side of the line, if you try trimming over here, the clay is going into the cutter, and any movement to your hand will cause it to dig deeper, and it will take a big chunk out, and it's called a catch, and it catches. So you want to make sure when you're using a sharp tool like this, which works to shape clay that's getting close to being bone dry. This still has a little color to it, so it doesn't make dust yet, but it's getting close. So be sure when you're using a sharp trimming tool that's made to shear as well as scrape, you stay at the center line or a little above or a little ahead of it. So we'll bring this tip of the tool, and you don't want much, just the very tip of the tool, in contact with the clay as it turns. If you bring a large surface of the cutter into play, then it has more force and it pulls the pot out around, or it causes you not to be able to cut, and then your hand starts moving back and forth with the rotation of the part that's out around. So take a very small cut with just a very tiny point of the cutter. You can see it's just cutting on one side. And again. Okay, now we're reaching the point where we're getting a continuous shaving, so we know we're in round. And I'll do the same thing here. I'll bring this up, and we have the surface on the outside of the foot in alignment. If we go to the line again across the pot, this side of the line, the clay is going towards the cutter. This side is going away, so be sure that you do the cutting on this side of the line so it doesn't catch. And again, we take a very narrow cut with just the tip of the tool. And we'll turn it to get the surface on the bottom. Now, the very foot itself is running in the same plane. It's not changing direction per se. And so we just take a light cut across with just the tip at an angle so we can make a sure cut. You can see how it's taking off the high spot. And then once it starts making a shaving all the way around, you've got it in round. When that's complete, tip the blade so that you can use the back side. And I'll put my finger on top to keep it from vibrating. And we burnish the surface. This helps keep this finished pottery from scratching the surface of the customer's table where they may be placing the bowl. So once that's burnished, I then want to burnish the surface of the bowl. And I'm going to turn this tool the other way. If we burnish the surface that we're going to be chattering, it gives us a little sharper detail on the marks. Okay, we have the foot trimmed, everything has been burnished, and now we want to use the rounded nose tool. Now when you bring this up to the work, it will catch and grab and make marks if it's at a hook angle. It has to be hooking into the surface. So it doesn't make much for marks if it's perpendicular. It has to be like this, so as the clay goes by, it digs in. So I'm going to do it in this direction. So I'll hold it in this direction, and I'll start here and I'll move upward. And it doesn't have to be running fast, the speed will work fine. I hold the tool firmly, and I am going to tip it so it's a hook angle. I'm going to tip it so that as it bends and swings, this would swing in line and make us a nice mark, but it wouldn't have a tail. This way it'll swing and it'll have a little tail behind. So I touch it here. And we have some beautiful marks. And now to set those off, I take my line tools. These line tools have been made out of nails. They're called double-headed nails, and they claim that two heads are always better than one. And I like the looks, so this is what I purchased to make the line tools from, double-headed nails. Anyway, here's the sharp point. We'll start with the sharp point, and then there's different size points that we can pick from to make a different size line. Now this is fairly, I take a medium size with the little one. So to start the line, I first start off with the pointed one to create a trench for the other one then to follow. And I don't go perpendicular, I lay it down so if there's any out around us, it will follow the bowl. I touch lightly until I'm sure I've got a line going all the way around. Then I take my larger tool, holding it firmly, and I make it deeper, and I want to make sure that okay, there's a line right there. I would like to be right there, and again with the wider line. There we have it. With this simple tool, you can turn your bowl into a piece of art that will sell for far more than what you paid for the tool. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to order tools for your own studio, please check the information at the end.